Everybody online, hello. Everybody in the room, say hello to the folks online.
Hi, people in the room.
Hi. So before we kick it off, as we like to do, let's start off with tell me something good. Who in the room has something? Exactly. Who has something good? I know there's at least two something goods in the room. Gary, you want to share?
All right. So I just had a deal close, and this week, a couple of years ago, Krista Proctor gave us this form here to fill out and give it to the appraiser. And it's amazing what this form will do when you send it to the appraiser. All of a sudden, they start working with you a little bit, and it saved my deal by having this form.
Awesome.
Can you pass that out?
Yeah, can you?
I only
It
have
should
one
be on
copy.
Brent Gove. Look on there, the files, Brent Gove team, if you don't have access to it.
It's called information for the appraiser. I mean, somebody
Yeah,
made one copy, so.
Yeah. So what we can do also is we'll try and get it posted in the team notes. J-Roll,
Brent Gove. What was it? Brent Gove.
the team. J-Roll, can you make sure you email me a copy of that or put it in the chat box that we use for our team? It's the same exact form. The appraiser sheet. Okay. All right. Who else has something? Tell me something good. Yes, please stand up. Tell us your name. Who are you? Boy, we got to see you. We got to see you.
Stephanie Bray, hi. So I signed up for Off City. I don't know who said to do it. I think it was in a meeting or something, but they said sign up for Off City. So yesterday was my first referral that came through for $950,000. And then also this last weekend, I did 2 open houses up in Applegate, and I met a homeowner in the area who has 5 properties on the same street he's looking to list. So,
Wow. Let's do one more. I'm calling him out. Julian, what you tell me something good? Oops.
So I got my first ever listing in one. Spear.
Nice. Spear actually works.
It only works if you work it.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. All right.
That's cost $350.
No, that's not tell me something good. That's old news. He was doing that when he was 8 years old. All right. Lender update. Miss Alicia, what do you got for us?
So a couple of things, I look at where am I hearing need, and I just want to remedy that. So one of the needs I've been hearing is with new home construction, a lot of clients are freaking out because of rates. So I did bring our rate lock policy that we can do up to 1 year, and there is no upfront cost. So most banks charge a 0.5%, so that it's non-refundable, so the client's kind of locked in and then stuck. And it just doesn't feel good because the end result tends to not be the lowest rate they can get at the time. Because we have no upfront, they really have nothing to lose. So my analogy to the client is, hey, let us be the soft pillow that you fall back on. If rates go down, great, you can relock. But if they go up, at least you created a ceiling and you know it's never gonna get worse than this. So yesterday, pricing out some 7 and 10-year arms, I got down back into the 3s, thank God.
Sweet.
And so, yes, with low cost, and the clients are super stoked, but we do have choices. So that was one thing I wanted to bring up. Second thing is just a reminder, Monday, the new grant comes out with Kelly Jaffe that's 10% down for our first-time home buyers. So what this struck up for me is the biggest need of all. How many of us has first-time home buyers that we're working with right now and are having a hard time getting them into contract? I have the power to get condo communities approved, and I'm down to do the work. And so it takes literally like an hour of work, I'm not even kidding you, and about a 30-day turn time. I'd rather focus on condo communities either you guys have your clients constantly asking about, or if you have a listing in one, because I'm just gonna end up pulling the FHA list and going off of which ones aren't approved or haven't been renewed and just starting to get them renewed. Why? We can market, if we know that it's coming up, we can market to the sellers, we can market to the buyers and put those door hangers going, hey, do you know your community is about to be approved FHA? Talk to your landlord, see if they want to list it for sale, right? So it just creates opportunity, but I have like 65 people pre-qualified right now that we need to find houses for. And I'm like, shoot, if I don't have houses, I'll create houses, right? So getting those communities FHA approved will open it up for us for first-time home buyers. So I did want to throw that out there. So if you do have I'm gonna focus Placer County first because Placer County is eligible for a second mortgage credit certificate program. These are just options that give clients cheaper payments, which is helpful. So I'm gonna focus Placer County first and then Sacramento. So if you guys do have condo communities in mind, if you can text them to me, then we can start there. But it only takes about 30 days and it's gonna give us more houses, which is exciting.
That's pretty cool. And you bring up a good point about locking in the interest rate, going back to your first point.
Yes.
That's something we're talking about on our team, is that let the bank take the risks, right? Lock in the rate now, and then if prices go up, interest rates go up, you don't regret your decision. But if interest rates go down and prices go up, then refinance. Let the bank take the risk, right? And so that might be a word track you can use when working with your clients. Cool. All right. Upcoming events tonight is the big team, or not team, big mixer with the mix at the mix. Over 700 people registered.
Wow.
So there are a lot of opportunities for you to meet lenders, not lenders, we got a lender, but meet agents, vendors, is what I was trying to say, vendors and potential clients, right? And it's a fun time and it's free. So tonight, 5 to 8 down at the mix. We also have, who went to the listing workshop last week? Everybody did, just about? All right, did you guys like it? Give a round of applause if you liked it. What we're gonna be doing, or what Brent's doing this coming month, is dominate your market with social media. We're gonna have a social media guru. Don't ask me who it is. I do not know. Don't know if
There's
they
some
know.
big names being thrown around that we're
Okay,
coordinating with.
yeah, so some
We
big,
don't have anyone set down yet, but there's big names that whoever it ends up being is gonna be someone that you will not wanna miss. Out of the few names that we're already talking with, trust me, you won't wanna miss any of them.
so go ahead, go to brentgove.com. Does everybody know how to find this page on Brent Gove's page? Anybody not know? I should ask that. Anybody not know? All right, if you're too shy, then come find me afterwards. Totally get it. And then last and certainly not least, there was a real estate agent whose family lost everything
Oh.
in a fire. And so they started a GoFundMe page. Her parents lost everything.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to raise money. And if you're interested, reach out to me. You can go to the GoFundMe page, and they're trying to raise some money for the family.
Can you post it on the Go team site? Facebook site?
Yeah, Jerry will make sure this is in the, here, I'll put it in the chat box for everybody online. And then Jerry will make sure this is in the meeting notes for us. How do we find this on the Brent Gove site? Susan Barron. Yeah. Well, let's just do it. So we go to brentgove.com. This is how you always know what's coming up. There's global events and local events. This qualifies as a local event. So click learn more, model explained, always happening. Scroll down just a little bit and there it is. Just click on the tile and you can register on Eventbrite.
And just know that on Brent's website, if you guys go to it, there's a lot of resources there.
On
Okay,
that
that
site?
ever comes to, you want to learn more about real estate, you want to learn more about attracting. There's a lot of resources there that we try and make readily available.
Mhm. Tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. See, I got another chat. All right. You're welcome, Susan. So her name is Sherry Flores. So if you just go on Instagram and look up Sherry Flores, the GoFundMe is in her Instagram handle as well. So just want to toss that out there. She's a local agent in the area. This is a real need in the area. If you feel compelled to give, anything helps. All right. Well, that's all I had in terms of updates. And I get to be today's presenter. So what we're going to be going over is potential change in the markets. Anybody feeling the market change a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
right? What are you guys seeing? What are you seeing in the market?
Longer days of the market.
Longer days on market. What else?
Less offers.
Fewer offers. I think Valerie got one accepted under list recently. Price reduction. What else?
Under list?
Under list. Yeah. It wasn't in a weird price point. It wasn't like a $2 million house. It was I don't know, where is she? Did she walk out? How much, tell us the story, Gorgeous.
My client was like, let's just try it. And normally I'm like, okay, great. You know? I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just give it a try. We went under like 10 and they countered back at 500. So, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but And
But
have to go
still.
over the list price. And it's like $3.95, so. yeah.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, we just got one accepted at this price of $975,
Whoa.
and we're contingent as well, and we weren't on the market yet.
Yep.
So people are starting to accept things, and I also have another listing that one of my investors did that has been sitting, it's been in and out of contract twice out of 39 days. And people are getting picky. So I'm now having to go give it to my investors, be like, we need to fix this to get it so that the product moves better.
100%. I was in a top producer room with a bunch of local agents in the area, and they're all seeing the same thing. They're even seeing people say, hey, just send me your offer. Like they're not even, they're trying to, you're trying to negotiate. Hey, what does the seller want? What, I don't know if that's gonna work for my buyer. And they're just saying, just send me the dang offer. Just send it to me. This has been on the market for a couple of weeks now. My seller is getting nervous because the seller's heard how great the market is. They're freaking out. So the point is the market, I'm not saying it has shifted. I'm not saying it's going to tank, but before we get into that, let's start out, because this could be potentially a negative, a little scary conversation, but it doesn't have to be. So let's start off with some gratitude. This does not have to be real estate only. Like Val and I just celebrated 9 years of marriage. So give me some. You guys all seem shocked at that. So. All right. So what else? Let's just get a couple things on the board. You should be able to see it up there. I'm sorry if it's not big enough. It's about the same size as that, but the people online can see as well. So who else? Who has something to share? What is it?
We just bought a house, Sam and I, we sold our old house, and we got almost double the money of what we bought it for.
Oh, wow.
We used half the money to buy the new house, which is almost 2,000 something square feet bigger than the other. one.
Nice. That's awesome.
And our payment is slightly bit higher, but not like crazy high. And, yeah.
Awesome.
Bigger house, bit more room.
That's
There you go.
cool. That's
Round of applause from the
nice.
new. Just start yelling them out. Just start yelling them out. Like, what are some things to be thankful for? Do you have listings? Do you have buyers? Are you healthy? We're all healthy. We're all sucking air in this room, right? If you're not, raise a hand. You need some help. All right.
I got 2 listings coming out in the next 2 days.
2 listings. Reach out to Drew if you want some off-market listing opportunities.
I have an executive assistant starting April 18th.
Oh my gosh.
Coming down, and she's magical, so I'm really excited about that.
That is a game changer. Round of applause for that. That's a big deal, guys. Julian.
I'm putting an offer in at purchase price, so hearing that, those 2 stories got me a little more confident.
Boom. Have a round of applause.
Hired a coach, Eric, and he's getting me out of my funk.
There you go. Hired a coach. By the way, if you need any coaching, shameless plug, Eric Waffle. Alicia, go ahead.
Real estate related, I just rebutted an appraisal and got it up from 1.27 to 1.45.
Wow. That's rare. All right, Jason.
I got my icon award.
I also hired a coach. Eric.
Eric, sorry, what were you saying online? Cindy, what you got?
I said I got my pretty icon award.
Yeah. The icon award and stock.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty darn cool.
That is.
That means Cindy, so we're gonna be seeing you at EXPCon and shareholders, all that, right? That's where you get your extra stock when you get that.
Yeah, it's worth it. If they're hanging stock out, you better go.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want to say no, you got 16 G's worth of stuff.
So the point is that the market's changing, but there's still plenty of things to be thankful of. In every market, up or down, there's always things to be thankful of. That being said, the government, the federal government, so who knows? So in order for me to understand, like I was talking with somebody I love dearly and I've been married to, but I won't say her name.
For 9 years.
For 9 years. Best wife I've ever had. And we were talking about this, and I just need to give you a brief understanding of how the currency system works. So what we have is a fiat currency, meaning it's not backed by anything. It's backed by the faith, like you pull out a dollar bill, it says backed by the full faith and credit of the federal government, right? There's no gold backing it up. So what that means is every time you take out a loan, poof, money is created. Every time you put money into a bank, poof, money is created, because that bank can then loan out that money, depending on the bank, and 9 or 10 times the amount you put in. You put in 10 grand, boom, they created 100 grand. You put in $100,000, boom, $1 million is created. And it's not backed by anything. It's just, these are just digits, right? And so not only with government spending, but also just with the low cost of money being around, a lot of money's been created and there's nothing backing it. That's why you're seeing who here has been hearing about inflation, right?
Why we have inflation.
Who's here been feeling inflation, right? Okay. So this is what Costco. So I live by Costco, dude. I can't even like leave my house like certain times of the day. It's like the gas line. It's like,
Oh my God, it's
horrible.
insane. Yeah, we live by Gasco too. And it's
By Gasco?
like Costco. I know
It should be
Costco.
Gasco.
I guess.
It should
I
be
was thinking
Gasco.
the gas. I was like, the line's always like up the line.
But what the government is doing is they're wanting to lower the amount of real estate transactions. They're wanting to lower. You're thinking, okay, why are they doing that? Real estate's an economic driver. It's because people buy houses with loans. And every time you buy a house with a loan, money's created. They're wanting to slow down the amount of auto sales. Why? Because when people not buy a car, they typically get a loan. Poof, money's created. And they're also tightening regulations on business loans, right? So what they're trying to do is have less money be created in the system, so that way inflation drops, okay? So all that to be said, the government trying to slow money down. Now, what happens typically when the government slows money down? It makes it harder for your buyers to qualify for loans. It makes it harder. So then all of a sudden they can't qualify for the prices. As they continue to go up, prices will start to either soften or not go up as often. Totally fine, okay? Because down markets are a great time to get market share. Time to get market share. I can't write fast enough. Market share. And so here's an example of a declining market. Let's say this is house sales. There's this many house sales and this many house sales and this many house sales in a declining market. But let's say you just have, let's say 1% market share in this market, and but then you maintain 1% market share in this market and 1% market share in this market. Okay. So even though sales are decreasing, the total overall, your market shares remain constant. And then what happens when the market share goes up? If you're able to maintain that market share, so let's say that 1%, and then there's 100 sales in a given market, that's one sale. But now there's 200 sales, and now there's 400 sales. You can see that your market share, even though it's remaining flat, goes up with the market. So this is a great opportunity to capture market share, because what happens, as we all know, so in 2008, I think it was 2007, 2008, there was over 1.2 million real estate agents nationally. When the market bottomed out, there were about 800,000. Almost half the number of real estate agents fell out. Okay, so fewer houses, fewer real estate agents, but if you can ride that wave back up, it can be a good thing for your business. So
Not great for your marriage, though.
different. That's a different coaching session.
I wrote it down.
Eric Lawful. There's Lawful. Yeah. So what are we going to do in this market, right? Because there's so many people out there, there's so many real estate agents, the market is going to start maybe cooling a little bit. What are you going to do? What I recommend, and who was it? Julian just got a listing, working his sphere. But guess what? He's not the only one working his sphere. I'm working his sphere. People in this room are working in the same sphere that he has. Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, everybody's working his sphere. So what you need to do right now is double down, triple down on your sphere. So if you're calling them once a month, maybe reach out 3 times a month. If you don't have a contact, like master contact list, you need to create one. If you don't have a 33 touch program, you need to create one. There's people in this room that can help you, Eric Waltham, and others, right? So reach out. You don't have to be alone in this, but you have to do the activities.
Yeah.
If you're not doing the activities, then you're going to be left behind, and you're going to be one of those statistics, the 1.2, and and you won't be one of the 800,000 left. Okay. So what are some ideas in order to double down on your database? Let's have some ideas. What are people doing right now that's working in their database?
Calling and texting.
Calling and
Yeah, just
texting them.
reaching out.
Calling, texting. Manu?
I usually send birthday cards. Every month I check whose birthday is in this month. So I send like 10, 20 birthday cards every month.
And that's cheap. That's easy. It doesn't take a whole lot of your time, right? But that means a lot to people. Who loves getting birthday cards, right? We all do. I don't even care who it is.
4 client parties per year.
Client parties.
Events and parties.
So you can partner with a lender and then reduce your burden. You're like, how am I going to pay for all this food? How am I going to put this on? Well, leverage your relationships in order to get that done. If you're not on a team or if you're a solo.
Video messaging and popping by their house.
Pop buys. Classic Brian Buffini.
Oh, so yeah, that's so practical.
Classic Brian Buffini. And it works. It's nothing like just because it's been done since the 90s doesn't mean it doesn't work. Dolly, did you have your hand raised? No? Okay. So here's a fun idea that I heard the other day. I think somebody mentioned social, get on social, wish them happy birthday. We've all heard that before, but how many times are we on social and it's like, oh, somebody's going through a hard time, or oh, somebody's kid won an award, or somebody got a promotion. Well, how about you leverage social with the personal touch and write them up? Oh, hey, I saw that your kid won state championships. Congratulations. So happy for you guys. Here's a coffee card, right? Like, how much more would that be mean than just dropping a comment or hitting the like button?
Yeah.
Right. And then they're going to remember you. Then they may reach out to you. You can meet them for coffee. And the next thing you know, they may have a referral or they may be looking to buy or sell. We're not doing this necessarily with the take mentality, but if you give and if you show that you care, because you do care about these people, but sometimes it's like, how do I care in mass? How do I show that I care? You're gonna make more money. So that's a fun way to keep your clients yours. Because here's an interesting number that I heard. 80. Does anybody know what this 80 million number represents? It blew my mind when I heard this. Okay, 80 million is the number of leads that were sold to real estate agents last year.
Oh, really?
80 million leads. Do you know how many closings took place last year?
A lot less.
Yeah, a lot less.
6 million closings. So that's 12 million sides, right? But basically, what is that? I'm not good at math. 6 to 1, roughly. 6 times the leads per closing. So be working your sphere. These people will probably end up buying or selling at some point. But just so you know, like, I just thought that was very eye-opening.
That is.
Well, and also on this too, this number, if you're a part of them, which I'm a part of them, right, is hold your numbers accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Just because when you see that big number, right, doesn't mean it's not effective. It means that, 100 agents or one agent out of 100 actually works their leads that they pay for. Okay, so that's where when you see this big, huge number, of course, everyone wants the easy pill, right? The easy ticket that I do one thing and I'm a millionaire. It doesn't exist. This is people that are trying to shortcut it. These are the people that are working something that's proven to still work.
100%. 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. My point is, you got to work it. You got to work your sphere. Like,
yeah.
Actually, it's much worse than that, because the 80 million are leads that were sold. It's not that the people that bought the leads closed 6 million of them. The people that bought the leads, it's still probably sphere of influence closed half of those 6 million. So probably only 2 to 3 million.
Yeah.
So the number instead of 12 is actually 24 to 1 that the leads didn't become effective.
and that's 80 million leads sold to how many agents? So how many different agents got the same lead?
Yeah.
Like, we do lead generation on our team, and every week J Rill's adding people. J Rill's our assistant. She's adding people, and she's like, oh, they were already in there. They were already in the database, but they're bouncing around on other websites, signing up for different stuff.
Yeah. I
So-
see that a lot online too. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's totally a thing.
By the way, there should be a minimum requirement for any database you have is that it checks for duplicates.
Well, yeah, the thing is too, is that you guys gotta realize, just because someone's in your database doesn't mean you own a person or a lead.
Yeah, that's
Right?
a good point.
It's your job to get in contact with them and to create the relationship.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised when people are bouncing around, just work your butt off to make that sale.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So what we've touched on many times in this market. So, like, we've gone over a couple different strategies. One strategy, Look on social, send them a card if it's appropriate. So maybe send them a birthday card like how Manu does, right? Rather than just dropping a happy birthday, right? Like this is a little bit extra work. And if it's too much work, drop them the like. Say, leave them a comment, do something. Something's better than nothing. But here are some ways to stand out from the crowd. Put a dollar scratcher in. Thanks a lot for being my friend, right? Put a scratcher in there, right?
That's cute.
Right? People love it. I do it. It's whatever.
We do it.
I literally do that. I do the thanks a lot. Yeah, and I put a scratch in there. Catches the ladies off the gas station when I buy $51 lottos, but whatever, they can deal with it. You know, they're
And you
like,
just send it to them and say, thanks for being my friend.
not for me, my friend, but thanks for meeting with me. Hey, I really appreciate taking the time the other day. Hey, I've been thinking about you. Thanks a lot.
That's cute. That is cute.
I'm cute. So another thing you can do is, we've talked about this before, but it blows my mind how many people don't take the time to do this. That's laughing at me. Is in your phone, like, do you know how many contacts are in your phone? Like we talk about creating a master database.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how many contacts are in your phone.
Millions of dollars right here.
If you scroll down to the bottom, you have an iPhone, it'll tell you how many contacts.
Yeah.
Times that number, like there was one gal we did this with, she only had 40 contacts in her phone. And I was like, oh gosh. But then I got to thinking about it. Look, one, how do you only have 40 people in your phone? You know, but that's weird. But for every person that's in her phone, how many people does that person know? Is it 5? Is it 10? If she was having a wedding, would there be 100 people that she would invite to her wedding? Right? So even if you only have 40 people in your phone, that database may be worth 10, 400 people, you know, 800 people. And so reaching out to them and just having a conversation with them, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And you can, and these are people that already know you. The last tip, and I don't know who it was that pointed it out on the chat. Who said CMAs? Mariah?
Mhm.
Mariah? I was actually on a call with Bill Pipes this week. Bill Pipes, one of the top real estate coaches in the country. And what he suggests, he gets a listing. He after thousands and thousands of this tactic going out, every 16 times on average, his clients get a listing. And what do? They send out a CMA to either their past sold or somebody in their database. So if you know where they live, email them a CMA. Like, don't ask, can I send you a CMA? Send them the dang CMA. Then text them and say, hey, I sent you something that could be the best email you've read all year. And then follow that up with a call.
Yeah.
You do those 3 steps. Doesn't cost you a thing, right? Except your time. And you're sending CMAs out, you're providing value, and it's value specific to real estate. Okay. So CMA a day. So he says, do that a day. CMA a day. Okay. Is this valuable stuff? Because what we're trying to do is how to capture market share, how to perform, and what could be potentially a declining market. If it doesn't decline, you'll just make more money, right?
And guys, if you want to, on my YouTube channel, I have how to do a CMA. It's about a 15-minute process. So you can click right through it. And it's the same one that I used to do for Brent. And that'll help it go real fast if you want to do that. You don't have to take all day on a CMA.
Yeah.
Just what's your YouTube page?
My name is Barry. Barry Mack.
Just under your name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Next step, learn your YouTube.
KV Core, yeah. So that you bring up a good point. So this KV Core will do one, HomeBot will do one. Don't do the automated things. Like if you're just trying to do it, again, something's better than nothing. But take some time and actually go through, because what happens when they have a conversation with you and they pick up the phone, you call them, hey, I sent this. Oh yeah, what's it worth? You know, what houses have sold in my neighborhood? And you're like, I just hit automated go. You know, like you want to come across as actually having done the work, or else how much value you're really providing them more than Zillow or Open Door or anybody else.
HomeBot's been really off lately. Just haven't kept up with the numbers.
HomeBot has been off.
They're off.
So,
Yeah.
I'm actually
John,
have to
can
go
I
back.
jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I've actually been doing this a lot lately with neighbors in my neighborhood and all of my son's friends' parents. And so we'll just kind of be casually talking about the market. I ask them how long their house is on the market for, and then they're always curious what their house is worth. And so I say, no problem at all. I'll pull some comps for you and I can tell you a roundabout way what your house is worth. So that I go home, I do a CMA, I put an entire packet together, and then I drop it off to their house the next day with a little gift. And they're always so surprised by how fast I was able to get it to them, that they have a little gift. and they're always surprised by their number. A lot of people don't know that their house is worth so much right now. And so that's been a huge thing. And there's been a lot of conversations with a lot of my neighbors that, you know, they want to sell the house. They had no idea that their house was worth that much. So it's a good end, you know, just be there, be present, and squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease, 100%. Thanks for sharing that, Mariah, because it's one thing if I'm saying, it's another thing if you're out there doing it. Mass, I just want to touch on this quickly. I thought this was fun. Anybody know what this is an acronym for? No, I didn't either. Mass? No.
No, it's an S at the bottom.
Serious. So mindset stands for mindset, activity,
Oh, got it.
system, and skill set.
So I had some PTSD if that's a mask.
Mindset, activity.
Mask.
Yeah.
He's sad. He's sad under the mask.
What was S?
Mindset, MASS, mindset, activity, system, and skill set.
Okay.
So if your business is not where it wants to be, it's probably one of these things. Your mindset could be off. Your activity level could not be high enough. Your systems could be broken. Maybe home bots, you're sending out a bunch of home bots, they're coming back bad. Or your skill set needs to be leveled up. Eric Laughlin. Okay. So I just thought that was something that would be interesting to share. Now, so we're talking about how you can make a little bit more money, but there's the other side of that coin is how can you cut expenses? Most people think about cutting expenses in two different ways, keep or cut. Keep or cut. There's actually a couple different ways. One can be you offset expenses, right? So you get involved with somebody who can maybe help you with your marketing expenses, maybe help you throw an event, maybe you just figure out how you can offset something that you're doing currently that you want to continue to do, maybe partner with somebody. So you can offset the expenses. You can replace that thing. So if you're paying $500 for a service that you could do yourself or that somebody else could do cheaper, replace it. You can negotiate. So maybe your cable, I mean, I don't pay for television, so I can't speak firsthand on this, but the room that I was in, they call every 3 months and they get free HBO, right? They say, hey, I know the 3 months is up. I'm just going to cancel. I don't want to move forward. I'm just going to cancel the whole thing. Well, if we give you another 3 months, will you stay on? Yeah. Right. And so, I mean, it's whatever. That's just an example, but you can call these service providers and negotiate. It doesn't have to be keep or cut. Keep or cut. Another thing you can do is check your auto renews. So if you have an iPhone, sorry, I have an iPhone. That's my baseline here, so I can't help you about the Android people. But go to settings, click on your picture, and then go to subscriptions. And then we'll show you everything that you are set up to auto renew on. Are you still using those things? I mean, it may just be $10 a year, but but that stuff adds up over time. And do an audit on your business. What are you paying for in your business? Sometimes those things stack up and you're like, what the heck? I'm paying $40 a month for what? I didn't even know I was still doing that. Happens all the time. 40 bucks a month. That's almost $500 a year. All right. So you can make more money and cut things. Another thing you need to do is identify your lead generation sources. So who out here is winning with certain lead sources? Like, tell me a lead source that you like. We've heard open houses. We've heard Sphere.
I just got back on Property Radar and picked up some good.
Property Radar.
They've
Okay.
really enhanced their options. By the way, did you know that there was 150 or so trustee sales in the last 8 months?
Mm-mm.
I would have thought trustees were gone completely because of the way the market is, but no, they're back.
Interesting. Alicia?
I get huge success from doing a video and posting it in the groups, the for rent groups. Because the for rent groups, they have for every single city, you know, all of the Bay Area, you know, all of our surrounding areas, you could typically find like Lincoln for rent, Rockland for rent, or whatever. So just doing videos in there, you get exposed to 30,000 people in one group, but I'll post to like 35 groups.
Wow.
And you get like immediately 8 to 10 leads, but they're people seeking your product that you're talking about. So to me, that's a warmer lead.
100%.
Yeah, they're coming for it.
The info on that. So I with the program that taught me a lot about Facebook. So the biggest number that you want to do if you do consistency is 13. So So you don't get it if you're going and adding groups or anything like that, okay? Don't go in one day and add 40 groups to your account. You'll go into Facebook jail for a couple of weeks, okay? So it's 13 a day, okay? So you can be doing 13 posts and 13 groups. Okay, so if you go that route, if you go more, you're just kind of testing them out, and then all of a sudden they're gonna click you, and you're gonna be out for 2 or 3 weeks.
So you can do both on the same day, post to
Yep.
13 groups and 13
Yep.
individuals
100%.
max, and then the next
Yes.
day, same thing. Too.
Yeah, there's times where you can get away with it for a day or two, right? But that's what they usually tend to do. If you're doing consistency over that amount, they'll put you in Facebook jail.
So what we need to do is figure out what's working for you. I can't answer what's working for you in terms of lead sources. Is calling for you? Is calling working for you? Is open houses working for you? If you're paying for something and it's not working for you, cut it and double down on what is. So if you're getting clients from an open house and you're doing 2 open houses a month, well, hey, how about you do 6 open houses a month? Double down on, like triple down on what's working. Okay. So it doesn't, this is a way that you can cut expenses and make money. I'm not personally, I'm not a big advocate of cutting. Like, I don't think you can save your way to $1 million. They say a penny saved is a penny earned, a penny saved is a freaking penny, right? But a million earned is $1 million.
I was just gonna bring up events, because events have always been a slam dunk lead conversion for me. So like this Saturday, I'm doing an autism with the Shine with Purpose, which is another nonprofit, and you can typically find, and even just going to volunteer, you know, depending on who you are, the energy of who you meet, people who come to nonprofit events, and you're typically dealing with good people, but you can immediately connect with people if it's something you believe in, right? And so finding out about community events that are something you believe in, you're gonna meet your people, which is nice. And you could even just volunteer to help do a booth, but it's a great way to immediately gain credibility by being obviously a good person and helping. But I found huge success in networking in situations like that. Good point.
Absolutely. And that's the best thing about the charity events, aside from meeting great people and doing all that, is they're doing the work. You're just showing up. You don't have to plan, you don't have to promote, you just show up, right? And you're helping them. So if you were looking to get involved with events, I mean, that's why we do the mixture thing, right? Trevor and I are putting that on, and it takes a lot of work, but all you have to do is show up and boom, you have 700 people to talk to, right? If you want to help and support Alicia's cause, go to Alicia's event. Is there any room for anybody to help? And
Absolutely, yeah. It's Mindy Mullenbrook is the actual person throwing it on, but it's a Ferrari car show. So there's like all these Ferraris. We're bringing 6 miniature horses. So that's our contribution to the group, but it's for autism. So they're raising money for autism, which is really nice, and having just a super fun day for everyone.
When is
Kids are
that?
welcome. It's this Saturday in Lincoln. Shine with Purpose is the nonprofit throwing it. And, but they have like this whole Ferrari club association where there's gonna be tons of Ferraris. So it's really fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's really gonna be a fun
that's
group.
really cool.
Might pick up my
11
next
to 2.
car.
It's 11 to 2.
All right, so Moifer, I'm like filled with acronyms today. I
Yeah, you
apologize. Moifer. All right, make offer for immediate response. You got it. Hopefully I spelled stuff mostly correct. Make offer for immediate response. Essentially, this is call to action. But Moifer, but you need what we oftentimes do in this. I didn't notice this until this was brought to my attention just a couple of days ago. How many times do you see like real estate agents like dancing on Facebook and doing something fun, or like the reels or the TikToks, but there's no call to action. Like they're like just throwing information out there, but there's no like, okay, well, now what? Now what am I going to do? So make offer for immediate response. So for example, what are some pain points that you're experiencing right now in the real estate industry? Like we've heard getting buyers offers accepted, right? What else?
Some of this getting offers on our listings right now.
Getting offers. What about they want to sell their house, but they don't know where they're going to move next?
Oh,
Yeah.
right? Where am I gonna live?
Contingent offers
Yeah.
or lease back.
Or what else? I wrote some stuff. Or they think they need to remodel first. They need to remodel first.
Or fear of world events right now. It's a big one I'm running into.
Yeah, bubble. Are we in a bubble?
Changes in their qualification.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a,
That's
yeah.
another good one, yeah.
And buyers.
Another one is, are we gonna tank? A lot of people ask if the market's gonna tank.
Yeah, bubble / tanking market. You're gonna
Interest
say
rates.
To remove or not remove contingencies with the office. Because
contingencies,
if the market's softening, why do I need to remove everything?
so stay
With the
protected.
house?
Okay, so what, let's just do base, so office list, let's come up with some moifers right now, some immediate calls to action. So for example, before you start remodeling, call me. Before you start looking for a home, call me. I have some tips that I'd love to share with you, right? So before you make an offer where you are not protected, if your client, if your agent is suggesting that you make offers that are leaving you unprotected and risking your deposit, call me. You haven't signed a buyer broker agreement. If you're having trouble getting your buyer's offers accepted, call me. I have a special program that can get your offer accepted. People buy programs. They rarely buy products,
Yeah, that's a good point.
right? So put together a program of things that you're already doing, things that real estate agents are already providing. Hey, are you having trouble getting your offer accepted? Well, I have a getting your offer accepted program. Call me. Worried about where you're going to live? If you sell your house, call me. And then come up with a catchy name for that, special name for your program. Fix before you list. We have a program where you can fix your house before you list it, and you don't owe any of the money out of pocket. Brent has gone over that. It's the people down in Newport, right? That you can use, right? So fix before you call me. If you think your house needs to be remodeled before you can sell, call me. We have a special fix before you list program.
I'm sure I have one, I guess, buy, sell later. You have like 4 options for people who want to buy non-contingent, even though they're technically contingent.
Yeah. Bubble. Any ideas on what you can do for the bubble one? Any suggestions?
Well, bubble only matters if you plan on selling.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So that's what I say. How long did you say you want to be here? 5 years, and what is that?
Yeah.
10 years of market cycles, every 10 years, you'll be fine. You know, it only matters if you're gonna sell.
And so we know that. We all know that inherently. People may not know that. So how you can market that is how to protect yourself, how to get a great deal in the bubble market. Call me. Hold on to it for freaking 10 years. You're not going to get burned. There's your program, right? Didn't cost anything, but when you say that to the customer, that's not what they're hearing. That's not what they're hearing. They're hearing, oh, that 10 years is a long time. What if? But when you sell it as a program, you're breaking through that barrier, and they're hearing what you're saying, and they're picking up the phone, filling out the lead sheet, and contacting you.
What's helpful with that is bringing up, they're gonna pay their house down 30% just with doing nothing but making their payment.
Yep.
So as long as the market's not going down 30% in 10 years, they're gonna be fine. They're not gonna be upside down. So showing them an amortization table and going, hey, what's your biggest fear? Like, what do you think, how low you think it's gonna go? So as long as you stay here 5 years, just paying the house payment, you'll be fine, you know? So it kind of squishes the.
And to tag on to that too, you can always show them the rents in the last 10 years. Show them how it's went up, every single year. And so if it continues, your worst case scenario, you can still get out of the house, you still own it, and you just rent it, and you make a profit.
100%. So a lot of these have been somewhat sellers, a lot of buyers. So like, for example, you can probably rope some sellers in with, hey, contact me about my 0% listing program. What's your 0% listing program? You freaking buy the home. Right. And then you sign the contract. The current RPA defaults to being assignable. Right. Now we're starting to get into some more technical stuff. And then this is me speaking. This isn't the Gove organization speaking, but you can also, OfferPad is moving into our market. OfferPad will pay you a 3% commission if you have a listing agreement. A 3% commission. So their offer pad is paying you, the client isn't paying you. You can offer a 0% listing program.
And door will pay you 1%.
Huh?
Open door pays you 1%.
An open door pays 1, but offer pad is rolling in and they'll pay you 3.
Disclaimer on, be careful with the assignment. part.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Edit that out.
That one's very advanced, okay?
Yeah.
But the offer pad, that's not a bad route to go. Okay, but really be careful, because, then you get into wholesaling, it can be very tedious.
Yeah, but my point is you can offer a 0% listing program where you're still making money and you're providing the client with what they need. It's just, it may not be what they want, but it's getting you in the door, right? Because typically, if you're going that route, they're going to take a haircut on price. But maybe they want the haircut on price because they're going through a divorce. Maybe a family member is dying and they need the money, or they need to go visit them in another country, right?
So
Like-
one of the ways that Tom Dave says that, the exact same thing, he says flexible rates, flexible commission rates that fit your needs. And that way, see, the nice part about that is he's not telling people he's a discount broker. He's just saying he's got flexible rates.
Flexible rates. So
When you listen to guys like that, listen to those radio ads. What are they saying? They put a lot of thought into those radio ads. You can use them, right? He's a great business guy. If you hear those ads, that's what's working. He wouldn't be running the ad if it wasn't working most of the time.
He's putting a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
flexible rates to fix your needs. I mean, that right there can make you money. If you go out and start talking about how you have a flexible rate program, right? Contact me about my flexible rate program. Is your agent only charging you 6%, 7%? Contact me about your flexible rate. Do you think you're overpaying for your real estate agent, or is your real estate agent not providing the service that you think they should be? Contact me about my flexible rate. The whole idea here is to get the hand raised and to go in, right? And then you can offer like tiered packages, which is probably what Tom Davis does. He sits down and he has a tiered package. Okay, so flexible rates. So that's all I had today. Anybody have anything you want to add?
Good. I missed the first part of the meeting. You guys probably did a market update, but I heard a really good set of numbers. I wanted to share them with you.
Please do, Barry.
Okay. All right. So the housing market prices have gone up about 19% in the last year. Everybody's aware of that. Interest rates also went up a full percentage point. That generally means, by the way, full percentage point on interest rates means that interest rates went up 33%. Think about that for a second. They were at 3, now they're at 4. They went up about 33%. And the cost of renting money, the overall payment went up about 13%, right? So that 1% rise in the interest rate increases your payment by 13%. So your monthly payments combined with the 19% increase and the 13% cost of renting money went up about a third. That's a big deal. Inventory is down about 38%. So your payments went up a third and inventory is down about 38%. But guess what? Pending sales are only down 5%. Okay, the supply is weak, but the demand is so much stronger than people realize. Yeah, we're probably going to see some changes, but they ain't here yet. Right now, the mortgage applications are still up. This is not something with so many headwinds that you're going against, you would expect the pending sales to be much lower. But in reality, what that's saying is that the demand for houses is now. So what I would tell you is make hay. This is the time to gather it into the barn. We're in a season right now for the next 6 months before any major changes happens, where people are still wanting houses and they're wanting in a big way. And you're going to look back on this time just like we look back on 2021. I had my best year ever in 2021. And we're going to look back on this season right now. If you'll go work your ass off this quarter, then you're going to see that there was a lot of deals to be done during this quarter. So anyway, that would be my thought on the market. It should be worse than it is. The numbers should be fighting it down, but they're not because the demand is so strong.
As of right now, we're still actually trending to, I heard this on my podcast and coaching call this morning, we're still trending to, at the very worst, hit 6 million sales again this year. So even as us agents don't let like the hoorahs get to you, because like 2 weeks ago it was kind of, you know, and then, you know, even it can affect us and not just your buyers. I'm already having like all my buyers call me freaking out, what's going to happen to the market, this and that. I'm just like, market's great. We're still trying to do the same thing as last year. So
That's a good thing to communicate to people, especially people that are scared about the bubble. The market is great. The message of today wasn't meant to like scare you that, hey, the market's turning. The market is just like, hey, screw it. Even if the market does turn, I don't think it is. I don't think 2022 is going to be a bad year. But even if it does, here are some things to be aware of. People are stealing your clients. You need to double down on that, and you need to reach out to your sphere. And here are some ways that you can do it for little to no cost. Right, and then what you're doing is you're shoring up the foundation for when the market does eventually turn, and you can capture more market share. Good.
The market is always there, guys.
It is, it's just different strategies.
We're already trying the same thing at Five Rock.
Yep. All right. All right. Cindy, anything you want to add? We miss you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
tried
is
so
Claudia.
hard to make it. I do have an announcement. The invitations have not come out yet, but everyone save the date for May 11th. That is going to be our annual Top Women of Real Estate Conference. Last year we did sell out with 225 tickets. So once the tickets go on sale, please grab them right away. Lunch is going to be served at it. And this year our topics are going to be rising stars, moms, and social media experts. So it's going to be a great panel. I believe it's going to be like 9 to 1. So it's a half-day conference. And if anybody knows any rising stars, we're kind of having a problem pulling in some rising stars. They have to be very high producing, like at least double masters in under 3 years of real estate. So if anybody knows of anyone that fits that criteria, can you please let me know? Because we would love to have them on the panel.
Masters is 5.7, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think masters is like, they got to sell at least $10 million at least in their first, 3 years. So if anyone knows anyone or you're one of them, please contact me.
Awesome. Thanks, Cindy. All right, everybody.
This is
With that,
Claudia.
how fantastic.
I wanted, can you hear me? I wanted to announce my listing that's coming on the market this Monday in Orangevale. It's a 1-story on a 1/4 acre and it is gorgeous. It has a pool and it'll be open. It'll be very easy to show. My seller is leaving town. So check it out.
Awesome. Can you put in the
7001.
Brent Gove team page?
I'll figure out how to do that.
Or in the chat box.
I'm on my phone remotely and I can't see how to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, just reach out to us. We'll see if we can get it added in for you. Thanks for letting us know.
It's 7001 Chestnut in Orangevale.
7001 Chestnut.
And what's the price?
What was the
Thank you.
price?
775,000.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
4-bedroom, 3-bath.
4-2. Love the pocket listings. Thanks for sharing.
So is this the right?
Thank you.
Bye all.